Well, morning guys, what a cracking day. Unbelievable. Had 2 days of this, not a cloud in the sky. Do love springtime in my garden. Everything goes nice and green and full of life. Let's give you a quick progress report. Oh, I know what I meant to tell you. Look what I got. 10 bags of compost. Our local garden centre are doing deliveries, and yeah, they dropped me off 10 bags. Cost me 60 quid, but beggars can't be choosers, so at least I've got some compost. So happy days on that. I've put the tomato plants in now, or 8 of them anyway. They're in my wicking system, and it's been very successful for me actually, this wicking system, over the last couple of years. So, you know, I might change it if it works. But really, stuff in this greenhouse now, it needs planting out. It's getting it keeps hanging on just in case you do get a frost, but I don't think we're going to now. I've looked at the forecast for the rest of this month, and it doesn't show any frost, so I don't know. Marigolds coming into flower. They're the French marigolds. Below them we've got the, I think these are the African ones, or is that the Cosmos? No, they're the African marigolds, those ones. And those over there, they're the Cosmos. I see a nice little tip from another channel actually, that I never knew to pinch the heads, pinch the growing tips out, to bush them up. So nice one, thanks for that tip. I'm going to do that. Never too old to learn. Getting back to the tomatoes, what I've got here, I've got more Spanish ones just here. 3 on the back are Spanish, the giant Spanish ones, and the one in the corner there, that's Sun Gold. This one here is a Sun Gold. This one here is a money maker, and this one here is an Alicante. So a bit of a variety there. As you've seen before, the geraniums they're all coming into flower now, so they're ready to be potted up somewhere. The dahlia's still looking good. Probably too big for that basket, but we'll find a home for it. Now these cucumbers, they really need to come out of these little pots. I'm not being fair to them at all, so I need to get these out of these little pots and potted up into their final positions now. So that's a job for the next couple of days. Just 3 of the big Spanish tomatoes that I managed to bring back from Spain. Just 3 left there. And in the foreground here we got our smaller tomato plants that I'm going to put in a bit later on in the year to give us some at the end of the year. Over here, once again, in the foreground, we've got a couple of Shirleys there, and these are a couple of Santinis, and over the back, a couple of Alicantes. The big basket that's needs sorting out. The little fuchsia can be repotted now. the swede at the bottom here, this can go in. This needs doing, as do these sunflowers. A little tray of, I had some old seed of lettuce, some old lettuce seed, and I just sprinkled it into this tray, and I've got a few lettuce there ready to be potted. Down here we've got our forget-me-nots over the back, a couple of surviving asters in that middle, and some stocks there. Couple of tumbling toms in a basket. That'll soon fill that basket up, I know. Some more tumbling toms over the back there. Oh, I forget what these are. These lettuce? I think they are. You know, rocket lettuce. Yeah, rocket lettuce in there. A little dahlia here, and that's at it. That has shriveled up, that one. Don't think anything's going to come of that. Our little dwarf sweet peas over the back, and the little strawberry plant here. Down the bottom we've got hollyhocks there. That was a cutting I took off a bush. I don't even know what the bush is called, but it had a root on it, so I thought, well, put it in a pot, see what happens. More dahlias over there, they're looking okay, apart from that one, it's looking a bit ropey, but we shall see. Now look at this. How lucky was I? I could not find onions anywhere. I just couldn't. I tried online, different places, just everywhere. I was so late trying to get them. And then a friend of mine said to me about this tiny little garden centre that was open, quite local to us. So I thought, well, I'll just try, just see what they've... And there they are. Stir-on onion sets. I've got there was only about 4 potfuls left in the bucket, so I've obviously been left with the runts, but we'll see. At least they're onions. At least it gives me something to have a go at. And whilst I was in there, I managed to get a couple of grow bags. So I'll either put those cucumbers in the grow bags, or I'll use the soil out of the grow bags and grow them in buckets. I haven't quite decided yet. Whilst I was in that garden centre at the weekend, I bought 3 trays of bedding. There's some begonias, a tray of begonia there, a tray of impatiens, and a tray of lobelia. £9 for them 3 trays. Scandalous. Over the back, don't know if you remember last time I said I was going to put a few salad potatoes in pot, start them off. Well, there they are. They've come through nicely, apart from one. I emptied that pot out this morning to see if there's anything happening. And yeah, yes, it's got some root on it, and that'll be up in a couple of days, I think. The fuchsias really need to go into big pots now in this fuchsia bed. Sorry, dahlias, fuchsias, what am I talking about? Dahlias. Sweet peas up here, they need to go out as well. Everything needs to go out. I've just been too lazy to get it out, I reckon. These sunflowers, look at the size of them, and for them tiny little pots, poor things. These 3 tomatoes here, I've got so many tomatoes that I put something on Facebook and said if anyone wants any tomato plants, feel free to come round and take a couple. And there you go. That's what we're doing. One thing I will mention, that I was running out of space, as I say, and so I remembered that in my garage had this old plastic greenhouse from years ago, and I expected to pull it out and see a load of holes in it, but no, it's in good shape. So I'd lost some of the poles, because some of the poles I'd used to make little benches with, but I've had enough poles just to form some sort of shape on it, and pegged it down with a few camping pegs. It's a bit windy today, but it seems to be holding up all right, so gives me a bit more space. What I've done down here, I've put 3 little lettuces, rocket lettuces, in a... This is a little planter, as you can see, and inside it, it's got hydroponic liquid. And I've done this before, grown lettuce in these little planters with this system, and it works really well. A couple of weeks they look a bit sad at the moment, but that's because they've just been transplanted. But believe you me, they will do what they say. They'll rocket up, those rocket lettuces. There's some calendula in there that I've only just put in. That's looking a little bit droopy, but that'll pick up. The strawberries that I transplanted, I tried to thin out. They're showing up some new growth, so I think we'll be okay there. What else was it? Oh yeah, over here there's some more calendula down there. I don't know what to do with it all, really. Once again, I've done it again, grown far too much and nowhere to put it. I've put a few of the baskets out now, a couple of the baskets, but really those baskets, they should have a bit of a digging over and some fresh compost put around it and a bit of feed. And also some of those bedding plants that I bought at the weekend, they can fill up those baskets. And then I'll just show you what's in this little plastic greenhouse. Yeah, well, so what we got some stocks over there. Well, be careful here because it's not that tall. Over here we've got some petunias and the big sunflowers at the back, and then they repotting. 4 Gardener's Delight, no 4 Gardener's Delight tomatoes, and a nice tray of petunias, and they're starting to flower, so they need to come out of their pots now and be potted on. So I'll just creep out of here. Sorry if I'm shaking you about a bit. It's a bit windy today. It's a beautiful day, but it's a bit windy. So yes guys, that's where we're at the moment. So long may this weather continue. Anyway, I've waffled on enough, so keep yourself safe, keep busy. All the best to you now. Cheers, bye bye.